Okay, hey guys, I know that it's been a while since I've posted my videos, and I know it's stupid because I'm not even in Europe anymore, but I am really determined to actually follow through on this vlog series of my trips in Europe, and I only have one more trip left, and then I have my, like, Florence slash wrap-up slash coming back to the US video to make. But my final weekend before I left was spent in Interlaken, Switzerland, which was super cool. It's like an awesome little ski village. Kind of felt really similar to like Aspen or something or whatever, but obviously kind of more badass because it was like the Swiss Alps. So anyway, I went through the company bus to Alps. It was like my third trip with them. Yeah, I went to Venice and Amalfi Coast with them too. Which I have kind of pros and cons for why you should choose a bus to Alps. There's kind of some benefits and some, sucky parts about using them. But anyway, overall I really do like them, and I had pretty good experiences, so I can't complain too much. Sorry, what's going on here? By the way, I'm in my weird new apartment in Arizona, back at school. Yikes. Anyway, so we left on Thursday after class, like usual. I was going by myself. My roommates went to Interlaken the weekend before, but that was when I was in London, and so I couldn't go on my roommate trip because I was meeting my friend, and that was the only weekend she had available. But anyway, so I did another solo travel, which was kind of scary, but a little bit less scary since this time I wasn't, like, totally alone. I was with other kids my age, because that's just how bus stops work. So you just ride on a bus with, like, other students going there also. So anyway, got on the bus, didn't know anybody, kind of shy, awkward, sat there next to this guy that seemed kind of weird, but then he ended up being really nice. I got to know him later. But it was pretty late. We were all pretty tired, so we just kind of crashed, watched some movies like usual. Got to Switzerland at like 3 in the morning. And so it was like pitch black, snow on the ground, cold. We just like were so tired. We crawled into the hostel and got to our rooms and like went to bed. But when I got in my room, I was obviously assigned. You usually can sign up like with people if you want a room together with bus stops, but since I didn't know anyone, I was just like, put me wherever. So I was just in a room with a bunch of girls I didn't know, but they ended up being really nice. They were all from like fly-ins, like they didn't take the bus. They flew to Switzerland and then like paid bus stops for their like housing and other stuff. So it was kind of cool because they were from all over. There were some from London, some from France, some from whatever. I mean, they were all study abroad kids. But anyway, so they were up for some reason at 3. So then we all fell asleep around 3:30 or 4 or whatever, and then we woke up for the hostel breakfast, which was pretty good. The hostel was super nice. It was called like Backpackers Villa, I think. And it was just really clean and really like modern looking, and we had our own private bathroom in there, like with our group of 6, so it wasn't bad. The breakfast was pretty delicious. It was just your basic, like, bread, croissants, yogurt, granola, European breakfast. But there's also these little tokens they had, so you could get, like, hot chocolate or cappuccino and stuff. And you got, like, 6 of them for the 3 nights. So I basically got something with my breakfast every day and then a hot chocolate every night. So that was pretty fun. Anyway, I had breakfast, and then the first day you couldn't do any activities because I don't know really why, just things weren't going on Fridays. But so we did like a walk to the lake. Interlaken actually means like between 2 lakes. Interlaken. In like Swiss or French or German or whatever they speak. Oh, and you're using the Swiss francs when you're in Switzerland. You're not using the euros. So that was kind of interesting having to like exchange my money again, second weekend in a row. But it was a lot closer to the US dollar, so that was kind of nice. Anyway, we walked to the lake, and it was super gorgeous, even though it was actually really cloudy that day, and we didn't even realize because it was so pretty. We didn't even know it was bad weather. So I took a bunch of pictures, but I was just kind of like awkwardly by myself because I didn't know anyone yet. And so I asked these people to take a picture for me, like so I could get a picture of me in the lake. And that just ended up being like the perfect situation because then ended up being like BFFs with them for the rest of the weekend, and it was really awesome because they're really great people. It was a girl and her 2 guy friends that were also studying in Florence, but they were with a different program, so I'd never met them before. And they were also planning on snowboarding the next day, and I wanted to go skiing, so it worked out perfectly because we got to do that together. So that friendship was kind of clutch. And I'm glad I asked them to take the picture for me. So it's not that hard to make friends on these trips, so don't stress out if you're like planning on doing that. Like, don't be worried if you have to go on a trip by yourself. Like, if you're like semi-outgoing at all, then you'll be fine. People are really nice, and like on study abroad, they just like to talk to you. So then we kind of were inseparable for the rest of the weekend. We ended up going back into town and getting some lunch at this little place. There weren't a whole lot of restaurant choices because the place was kind of a smaller town. But yeah, we hung out, and then we waited until the shop opened so that we could rent our gear for the next day for skiing and buy our lift tickets and everything. And it was actually really pretty affordable for skiing, because skiing's pretty expensive anyway, and for like a day in the Swiss Alps, I don't know, I was really surprised. I think I spent like the same or less than like normal, like I would in the US. So it was really awesome. There's a bunch of other activities. Interlaken's really known for their adventure activities. They have like skydiving and snowshoeing and canyon jumping and crazy stuff, like a million different things to do, paragliding, and I really would have loved to do like all of them, but obviously I couldn't because it was super expensive, and that was my last weekend, and I had like no money left. So everyone was pressuring me to go canyon jumping, and I was literally about to do it, but I just did not have the money. So I was like, well, sorry. But yeah, it's a crazy thing where you like bungee jump into a canyon. Totally crazy. Probably good that I didn't do it, but it looked really fun. Anyway, so I ended up being lucky enough, since I got that €5 coat at the Weird Market, and this girl let me borrow her gloves. The only gear I really had to rent were my boots and skis, obviously, and then a pair of like ski pants. So, and I got some goggles, and I'm glad I did because that was pretty clutch. But anyway, so it wasn't too bad. I got the lift ticket, which also includes the train up to the mountain, because the town's kind of like down, and then you like train up into the Alps. So we had all of our stuff, and it kind of sucked because we had to like carry it back to the hostel and then carry it back to the train and carry it back to the whatever. So me carrying like boots and skis and awkwardness is kind of annoying, but that was the least of my worries at the time. So that night, we decided we wanted to have some traditional Swiss fondue, so we went to this hostel because it was the cheapest place to get it, and it was really good. Sorry, I just removed myself again. And we split 2 different little fondue pots of cheese, and they have bread and vegetables and whatever. You can do it a lot more fancy and get like meat and whatever like at the melting pot, but it gets like way more and more pricey every time you do that. So that was delicious. We were super full. It's like really filling stuff, and it's really good. And then we just decided to go. The other hostel was called Balmer's. If you like ever go to Interlaken, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about when I'm referencing pretty much any of this stuff. But yeah, so it's like one of the few places that has kind of like a bar or anything to hang out for like younger people. There's only like 2 places really for you to go hang out. So pretty much everyone was there, so it was really fun. At first, like everyone was really awkward, but they have this like reverse happy hour thing, and so everyone just like goes down there, and then after a while, everyone just kind of like loosened up and chilled out, and the DJ started playing some music, and it kind of turned into this like weird. It was like in the basement of the hostel, so it was kind of this cool like clubby weird vibe. I don't know. It just ended up being a really fun night, and you know, me and my new little friends got to know each other, and it was cool. The only problem was that the next day everybody was like really kind of beat and tired and hungover and weird, but luckily I was not at all. I was fine, so I was just super stoked about skiing, and got up bright and early. We wanted to leave so we could have like as much time on the mountain as possible, so I think we got up at like 7:30 or something. Ate the hostel breakfast, got ready, took a shower, whatever, and then we found the train. And it's really cool because it like literally, you take this little train and then you take this like tram thing like up the mountain. It takes like 45 minutes. Like it's definitely something you have to like factor the time in. But it's awesome views the whole way up. And then once you really get up into the mountain, you're like, holy moly, this is insanity. Like I've been on a few crazy beautiful mountains because I go skiing like every year. Or at least it's been a tradition since like forever. And then I've missed the last 2 years because I was sick one year, and then I didn't match up my spring break with my family, so I was like worried I'd be off my skiing game, but it turned out really fine, and I just went right back into like the natural feel of it, and I love skiing. I always forget how much I love it until I'm doing it again. I'm not the super most athletic person ever, so it's like really fun for me because it's like a sport I'm actually pretty good at. So yeah, we got up there, beautiful views, crazy insane panoramas, 360 degrees mountains all around you with glaciers and crazy snow, and it's sunny and beautiful, and the conditions were totally perfect. The sun was out, it was like perfect snow, it wasn't cold, it was like awesomeness, beautiful. And we were on, I think like Kleinsteg or something, like some random part of the mountain. There's like a bunch of different mountains, and our lift ticket like went to all of them, but we just like picked one. And if you had kept going, there's this thing you can pay for extra to go up to the very, very top, but you could see it from where we were skiing. So I don't feel like I needed to do that, but it's like the highest point in Europe. I think it's called like Jungfrau Joch or something like that. So that was the region I was skiing in. So I was basically on the top of Europe skiing. Pretty awesome. But yeah, like I said, I was with them, and they were all snowboarding. I was the only one skiing, so that was kind of funny, but I'm a skier, not a snowboarder, sorry. And we all really had a great day, and we had this weird little lunch. It was like this little sausage that was filled with cheese and like bread. It was very like foreign European whatever, but it was really good. And yeah, just an awesome day of skiing. I totally had a great time. Spent the whole day doing it. We were like pretty beat by the end of the day, but we were all right. Like I could have kept skiing. Anyway, we took the train back down at like 4ish when it closed, which was kind of cool because it was like sunset, so we got to like watch the sunset while we were riding down the tram down the mountain. I mean, it was just like totally breathtaking, crazy. And so we got back into town, and everyone was pretty tired, so we just kind of like chilled out for a little bit, got some dinner. We were gonna go to another like decent dinner, I think, and then we were just like, dude, we're so tired, let's just grab some food, like it's getting late or whatever. So we ended up going to this place and getting kebabs, which is funny because that is not Swiss at all. That's just like everywhere in Europe. It's like the Taco Bell of Europe, but it's not, it's like not fast food or whatever. But like anyway, it's like these weird Euro things. I've talked about them in other videos. But this one was like this humongous sandwich. I mean, it was literally like this big. I'm not even kidding. And I was sick and ate it all, and everyone else, like even the boys I was with, didn't eat it. And I was like, guys, are you going to judge me if I eat this whole thing right now? And they were like, no. But I think they totally judged me. But whatever. It was good, and I was really hungry, and I'd burned a bunch of calories skiing all day, so shut up. Anyway, so that was dinner. Then we went down to the Metro bar again because that was just kind of like where everyone went. But it wasn't like really as hoppin' or fun as the night before, and I think everyone was just tired and whatever. So we stayed there for a while, and then decided to dip, and we went to Funny Farm, which is another hostel. It's like the only other like young people hostel, and they had a little weird like bar club thing in their hostel too, so we like hung out there for a little bit. It was kind of cool to see the other group because that's where like Euro Adventures and Forms for Fun and stuff stayed, so it was more like student groups pretty much. And then we went back to the hostel and just kind of hung out, and like we were just talking. I made some other new friends. We were all just like hanging out, and we met some like, you know, travelers that were just staying in the hostel. That's just like what you do in hostels. It's the coolest thing. I like miss it so much already. You just always are meeting new people and talking about random stuff and swapping stories, staying up till like 4 in the morning, and it's awesome. So yeah, we stayed pretty late. Then we went to bed, and all the people I was with, they were doing the canyon jumping the next day. They had decided last minute to go ahead and do it, but I was just like, sorry guys, can't afford it. So I had to be poor. So I just kind of enjoyed sleeping in a little bit. I woke up and like cleaned my hostel and packed up because I thought we had to be out of there at like 10:30, but that wasn't the case. So then I went to breakfast with this girl in my room, and she was really interesting and really sweet, and she was studying in France, and I think she had just graduated, and so we were just chatting and enjoying our little breakfast, and then we and a couple other girls in my room decided to go like wander around the town. Oh, I did that the night before too, or one of those nights. We had wandered around the town, but I didn't buy anything. We just went in a bunch of ski shops and stuff. But this time it was during the day, and they had this Christmas market going, so we kind of looked through that, and I was looking for a snowflake ornament for my mom that was impossible to find. You couldn't find them in Florence either. Crazy weirdness. But I did get some Swiss chocolate because I didn't get any in Belgium, so I was like, well, if I don't get any in Switzerland, I'm really an idiot. So I bought some Swiss chocolate, and I got this chocolate-covered fruit while I was like there. Like the other chocolate was just for eating later, but oh my gosh, it was amazing. I don't even remember what I had for lunch. I don't know if I had lunch. I don't know. Whatever. I was so poor. I was literally trying to save money in every way that I could. I had like nothing left, and I didn't want to take any more francs out. So I was being pretty budget conscious. And oh, then this guy that I'd met the night before, we were hanging out, so we decided he didn't get to walk to the lake the first day, so I decided to show him where it was and take some more pictures because I think I had taken pictures and my camera started being weird or something. I don't know. Anyway, so we went to the lake again. It was really awesome. I'm really glad we went back because that day it wasn't cloudy, so like it was a totally different view. The colors of the lake were way brighter, and like the sky was way prettier, and everything was reflecting really cool, and I was like, whoa, this is awesome. So I got some really great photos, but then my camera started freaking out, and that's when I knew that it was broken, and unfortunately it still is, and I've already had it looked at, and it's like totally messed up. But it's okay because that was the end of my Europe trip, so at least it survived all of Europe. Just crapped out right at the end. Anyway, so yeah, we got to do the walk to the lake and just kind of took it easy on that last day. Got to hear all the stories from my friends who went canyon jumping, and I was super jealous. It sounded like the funnest thing. They said it was like the best thing they've ever done in their life. I'm sure the adrenaline rush must be insane, but now I just have something else I have to do, so I'm gonna have to go back someday to do it now. Fine with me. Anyway, that was my trip to Interlaken, pretty much. I'm sure there's some details I missed, as usual, but it was a really awesome weekend, and I was, like, so fun making new friends, and, yeah, we just bussed back to Florence that afternoon, and got in at around, like, 10 or 11, and I was just happy to be back home in Florence for my last week for finals and stuff. It was so sad, but it was awesome. So that's all.